Define mastered hardening. I guess my first question is to figure that out. Through the Attack on Titan fandom, someone went through and made different levels of herding. With that knowledge, we're going to say that Master Herding is level 4. Eren and Reiner would be swapping Titans if it wasn't obvious, similar to the What If I Did, just less switching. The Attack Titan's ability is to see into the future memories of its future inheritors, as that's kind of broken or useless at times. The ability will be glimpses into the user's possible future memory of that line. Easy way to explain is Reiner can see things that he might see in the future, basically a Titan coming out of nowhere and killing the Jaw. However, when those things will happen is during times he might lose his life, or just random things here and there. With that and the hardening, he might be stronger than he was in the beginning. After training for however long and also talking down about his brother, Reiner would be selected to inherit the Attack Titan, which, like Annie's, would be heavily modified so that he can use hardening at its max. Using its power, he'd help take down a nation before getting selected to go to paradise and take back the founder. During the trip to the island, Reiner saw a memory of him seeing Marcel get eaten, which would help the four of them find a better place to stay. Marley would know of the Attack Titan's ability. Annie, Marcel, and Reiner would take turns using their Titans. Annie would use her ability to gather Titans, and Bertolt would breach the walls. Before this minor Titan could get Bertolt, Marcel would come in and rescue him, and the four would go to the top of the walls. Reiner goes on alone and uses his hardening to harden a good chunk of his body, that allowing him to breach the inner walls and defend against the cannon fire. After that, he regroups with the others. With Marcel still alive, Reiner would be a little different. He'd act similar to Bertolt and is a little on edge constantly, since he had no reason to fill Marcel's shoes. And to help Annie out, Marcel would be assigning himself to help Annie gather information. Later on, after some discussion, Reiner would convince everyone that they must breach War Rose in order to flush out the founder. The Trash Gate is breached and the four warriors witness Eren come out of a Titan's body. During the operation to plug the hole in Tross, Marco would still overhear Reiner and Bertolt talk about being Titans. Marco still gets eaten by a Titan, even with Marcel there, who is a bit nicer, but yeah. Marcel and Annie would both join the military police, and Bertolt and Reiner goes on to observe Eren in the Survey Corps, which the female Titan arc would go the same, with Annie being crystallized in whatever district she was in. Marcel could have helped, but he's smarter than that, I think. Just in case, Marcel would go on and into hiding. Ymir was the one who helped out the group, so without her, Reiner's forced to Titanize and kill the Titans below, during that one, giant tower thing, which with a few hardened fists, he should be able to handle. Due to Annie and Marcel's research, they learned that Krista has an important role, so Bertolt would go on and knock her out, and jump to Reiner's Titan, which would catch them before leaving Connie in the tower with small Titans coming up. Connie won't die, the Survey Corps would revive and wipe out the Titan, saving him, and him explaining about the whole Bertolt and Reiner thing. The military coup would once again go quickly to a point. Without Historia, Rod would inject the serum into himself, transform into a Titan and consuming Eren, which he'd go on and wipe the memories of the Paradise people. Yeah, that had happened. Marcel, who's been lying in wait, would Titanize and take the unconscious Rod release away. Reiner and Bertolt, who regrouped with the cart Titan Zeke, would breach the Tross district once again and the inner gate as well, using the speed of the cart to make their way further in. Zeke would have stores of barrels of gas with spinal fluid, turning passing villages into Titans, and eventually they meet up with Marcel. Zeke and Peak would take Rod back well, and the rest of them search for Annie, which due to Reiner's abilities they eventually find her, and yes, I do realize them barely using that power, and also his hardening. They then return to Marley, which once again has all 9. Historia would be revealed as a royal and, well, is now a breeding source. Reiner would figure out Zeke's plan through his memory ability, putting it in which the government strips Zeke of his Titan by having the next in line taken. The rest of the younger family would be executed, and Marley would farm Paradise's resources and expand their empire.